garden gals and guys, it's Steph with Tiny's Garden, gardening in Zone 5B in the Chicago suburbs, and I am a home gardener who just loves to grow cut flowers. So today I'm bringing you along with me to do a big harvest. It's supposed to get up to 90 degrees today, the start of a heat wave in our area here, so I want to get a lot of these dahlias cut. Also, I've got Lisianthus that are looking beautiful and ready to be harvested, as well as some other things like Mahogany Splendor hibiscus that have grown very big, and I'm super pleased with those, Sahara rudbeckia, etc. So let's go ahead and get started and have a nice relaxing morning cutting some blooms. So first, let's go fill up our watering can. How could I forget zinnias? I was walking over to get water and I walked past my zinnias and thought, oh, I gotta show you these real quick. Look at this patch. It has been thriving this year. I planted more in this raised bed than last year. It's September 24th today, or 23rd, somewhere in there. And my zinnias are still going strong. And last year was still a great year, but this year, man, they've been amazing. I'm standing as tall as I can, and they are way over my head. My Lisianthus beds are starting to lean a little bit because the flowers are opening up on them more than one, so they're more weighted. I don't have any Hortonova netting. I don't use that, though I might next year to help them stay a little more upright. But overall, I'm still really pleased with them this year. I want to get a lot of these that have multiple blooms open on them harvested so that I can hopefully get another flush. Right now what I'm harvesting is Voyage 2 Champagne, and I'm going to show you the difference in the varieties. They're very close to Voyage 2 White, but more pinkish, more champagne-ish, thus the name. So let me cut this one and then I'll show you up close. I also always strip the lower leaves. And you can see they've got nice long stems as well, which is what we want for bouquet making. Okay, here we have a bunch of Voyage 2 Champagne. And you can see there's just a little bit of blush on these blooms, but a really stunning flower. Different from the Voyage 2 White because the white is a pure white. These have that kiss of champagne and blush in them. Okay, Voyage 2 White Lisianthus next. And when I'm coming in and I'm cutting these, I'm cutting pretty deep into the plant, and that'll give me those nice long stems for harvesting and arranging in a bouquet, and also will allow long stems to grow back on the plant. See if you can see how low I'm cutting these here. I've got these two that I'm going to go ahead and cut. Actually, I'll leave this one on because it's only got one bloom open, so I'll let that one open too. Although I could harvest it right now, but I like to harvest more when they're like this, and there's a couple open on the stem. So I'm going to take my stem and cut all the way down here. And voila! I don't know if you can see, but the bees are loving these. The bees have been out in full force the past couple weeks. Lisianthus, they're into zinnias. I haven't really seen a ton on dahlias, some, but full force bee madness, and I'm loving it. Save the pollinators. Look at that guy getting way down in there. And he's out. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Going in again. Can't even see him down in there, but he's in there. Oh, and he's out. Now we are in August, and typically in August is when my largest harvests start for my cut flowers. The Lisianthus are finally ready, my dahlias are ready, zinnias are going strong. A lot of the vocal flowers that I use are in their stride, hitting it. So August, I love. September is even still good. July starts to get really great, but August is when I feel like for me here in Zone 5B in the Chicago suburbs, my cut flowers really start taking off. They're leaning to the right a little bit just because the sun is mainly over there and they're reaching a bit. We've also had a lot of rainfall that has been pretty heavy, so they're weighed down a little bit. And like I said, when those blooms open, they're a little heavier. So let me know if you use Fortunova netting in your raised cut flower beds for things like snapdragons and lizzies. I just haven't messed with it before because usually mine aren't too bad. But my snaps this year have been struggling to stay upright, and my lizzies are starting to lean. Again, not a huge deal, but if I can easily put Fortunova netting on here and keep them a little more upright and just even a little more straight, that's even better. So I'm thinking next year I might implement that. So comment below and let me know if you use that technique at all. Axie, welcome to the party. Hi, partner. Hi, partner, you see the lizzies? Aren't they beautiful? Now here's an example of one that is old and spent. So I'm not just gonna discard the whole stem, I'm just gonna cut off that one because otherwise it's still a beautiful stem with lots of blooms on it. So it's not worth throwing away. Never. And here we have Voyage 2 White Lisianthus. You can see what I mean about the blooms being a pure white, and it's a Voyage variety, so it's got the ruffly petals, but oh my goodness, it's the purest white bloom I think I have in my garden, with the Blizzard Dahlia being a close second. But these are just gorgeous. I will always grow Voyage 2 White Lisianthus. I've got to move to the shade because my camera keeps overheating because it is going to be 90 and it's already climbing today. Now, as I've said before, I am a home gardener, so I just grow cut flowers because I love to. I enjoy making bouquets for myself and giving them away, and I have thought about selling them, but I'm not there yet. If I were to sell them, however, I would probably start with going to the florist, and I would probably start with these. These are a major focal flower. They last for up to 2 weeks in a vase, so you can get a good price per stem for selling them. So if I did have the courage, I would bring a bucket full of these up to my florist and see what happened, but I'm not there yet. I'm going to give these away, put them in bouquets this week, and spread some kindness, which I enjoy doing. But I just wanted to throw that in there in case you were wondering if I were to start, what would I probably start with? This is a good one to start with, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. Now let's cut some Rosanne Black Pearl, an old-time favorite of mine. This was one of the first lizzies I ever grew, and her bloom was so beautiful, she got me hooked. Okay, so this is interesting. I've got Rosanne Black Pearl right here. You can see her blooms. I had to switch cameras because my nice camera is overheating. But it's just a gorgeous deep purple, almost a satiny look to it. Really beautiful. And then I have one that I'm not sure what it is, because at first you would think, oh, it's the same color and variety, but it's not. So here we have a pure purple. It doesn't have any sheen on it like the Rosanne Black Pearl, which I'm just figuring out is probably why they call that one Rosanne Black Pearl, because it's almost got a pearl sheen to it. Who knew? But this one is a matte purple. Oh, help yourself. How cool is that? So I'm gonna have to look up what I think this is. Now I also have my first Rosanne Brown blooming, and there's only one flower open on her, so I'm not gonna cut her yet, but I wanna show you her because it's my first year growing her and I've really been curious what she's like. So far I think I'm a little underwhelmed, but maybe she turns out to be fantastic. So let's take a look. There she is in all of her glory. She also has that pearlescent sheen on her, like the black pearl. I'm just not super impressed with the color yet. Maybe if more blooms open. It's like a mauve-y color, I would say. So if you're not familiar with my Lisianthus story, I started growing Lisianthus a couple years ago. I think the first year I had 4 blooms that made it. Then it took off a little better last year, and this year it really has been fantastic. I did soil blocking this year. I started by planting the seed in a soil block, and that worked really well for me. Almost all of them germinated. Compared to the year before, I did not have as good of a germination rate. Germination means that the seed actually turns into a seedling or some green starts to sprout. And then I transplanted them up after, I would say it was maybe a month or 2, because I start them all the way back in January. It takes a full 6 months from seed starting to a bloom. And so I transplanted them up because I thought they just needed a little more soil, and that was a good call because they took off from there, really grew in those larger cell trays. And then I came outside and transplanted them into the garden bed where they have just flourished. I planted them closer together this year, and it is making such a huge difference in the volume that I am getting from these flowers. And then, I mean, the blooms speak for themselves. And then by August, you can have a bucket full of beautiful Lisianthus blooms. This is by far my best Lisianthus harvest yet, and I am here for it. This is just the back garden bed I've done so far. And I'm leaving a couple on to bloom more. But now we should go get some from the front. Woo-wee! I think it might be warmer than 90 degrees today. It's not even noon, and I am schwitzing pretty hard here. So if I'm glistening, that's what's happening. Here we go, front garden beds Lisianthus. They are ready to play. Look at those multiple blooms on there. Again, it's the same varieties. The pure white one is Voyage 2 White, and then Voyage 2 Champagne, the blushes champagne tint. Check out this bucket. I've got to do the thing where I'm standing up holding all these blooms. I've always wanted to do that. The handful of one type of flower. I think today's the day it's gonna happen. Look at this Lisianthus stem. She is a giant and a beauty. How many blooms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on one stem. Holy grail right here of Voyage 2 White Lisianthus dahlias. Not dahlias, Lisianthus. Voyage 2 White Lisianthus. Right now is a good time to remind you, if you've been enjoying my content but haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel to follow along with all things garden. I would love to have you here. If you're a Lisianthus lover, you are loving this video right now, right? And if you're not, you're like, change the channel. But I love them. I can't get enough. Can't stop, won't stop. These up front are just giant. They're even taller than the ones in the back. And I think they get maybe a little more sun here, which, I don't know about that. But I mean, these stems, look at those stems. It's like 3 feet tall. Maybe not 3 feet. 2.5. I don't know what it is about up here, but this is like a full bouquet right here. And it's 2 stems. Monsters up front here. Monsters. The prettiest monsters I've ever seen. Oh my gosh! My bucket just fell over. I'm having a mini panic attack. Okay, we're just gonna stay calm. We're just gonna stay calm. Oh my gosh. A perfect bloom is on the ground. Okay, stay calm. Everybody's okay. Everybody's okay, right? Oh, yes, right? Oh my gosh. Guess I'm gonna get that holding up the flower picture after all. Oh, a couple are falling off. Axie, stay away. This is a disaster zone. Oh, a couple are bent. Oh my gosh. If you've grown Lisianthus, you know I'm not being dramatic. This is a little bit of a catastrophe. But we've got some that are okay. We've got some that are okay. We're just gonna think positive here. so we don't have a meltdown. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. That would happen. It's okay. It's okay. The good news is I can hardly fit my arms around all of these already. Smile for the camera. Oh, there's grass all over these. Ugh. That bucket was really heavy. I should have known, but oh well. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I really can't hardly fit all these. Okay, good problem. Well, you were beautiful. Don't worry, I'll come back out and get you guys and put you in a little vase. I'm not gonna leave you stranded. That'll make a nice little bouquet, right? Here we are. It's the pose. Am I hitting it? Am I hitting it? Oh my gosh, I think I've done it. A little more grass on these than usual, but hey, we got there. I feel a little bit like Miss America. A little bit like that, but not likely. Notice the grass all over my legs. Yeah, hot mess express. Watch, this will turn into my thumbnail picture. I really am holding a handful of Lisianthus that I've grown myself from seed. The moment has come. The dream picture has been here. Check! I guess that's a positive out of that situation, even though I've got grass all over me and I'm soaking wet now. I got the picture. I got it. I've done it. I did it. I'll go ahead and use this opportunity to tell you, if you think you can't grow a lot of cut flowers in a small space, you can. I am on an acre here, but the land is really wet and heavy clay. We're in a forest. So I don't till up my ground. I use my raised beds. I have 8 in the back and 6 in the front, 14 total. I'm just a few years in and doing this, and I finally have a whole armful of Lisianthus. Man, I'm proud. And you can do it too. So I think I'm gonna change gears. I think we're gonna stop this video here because I've got to get these in water and clean some of the grass off because I do want to give them away. Also clean myself up, but I guess that was a mega Lisianthus harvest and I couldn't be happier. Got the armful of Lissies right here. So please comment below and let me know how your Lisianthus harvest is coming along. Hopefully your buckets don't tip over like mine do, but if they do, you pick them up and you move on, right? I'm gonna go show my husband and my son now my armful of Lisianthus flowers. They'll be very proud of me because they know the work I put into it. But if you're ever in doubt, just give it a try. You can grow these to any type of flower. Just takes a little love and care and attention and a decent amount of work, but it's worth it. This is a happy moment. Remember to subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd love to have you along here, and we'll see you in the next one where I continue to harvest a bunch of the other flowers I talked about. So stay tuned. All right, I'm gonna take my little bouquet and my big bouquet and head inside and start arranging these tonight, which I'll also film. We'll see you in the next one, everybody. Happy planting. Bye. It's a nice view of the bees up close. Quite nice. Nature at its work right here. From here, they still look pretty good. Not bad after a catastrophic fall.